Well, here we go guys, it's 2023, Happy New Year. This year's first cooking video is going to be a chili garlic chicken, Asian style. You'll have to excuse my voice, I'm suffering with a sore throat from this year's flu and we're only 3 days in to the new year. So Happy New Year guys. Chili garlic chicken, here it comes, and don't worry too much about all the ingredients because I'm going to leave everything in the description underneath. So watch the video, learn the method, and if you wish to double up on this at the end of it, then just times whatever ingredients you put in there by 2. So what I want to do first is get my chicken cut up so I can get it marinated ready for the chicken before I make any other part of the meal today. So I'm going to create some chicken fillets. They're going to be smaller than that, they're way too big. And we're going to season these with some spices. Normally we would allow them to stand around 20 minutes, allowing them spices to soak in. But it may be just a little bit longer, but you won't see that time lapse because the power of press and pause on the camcorder will save the day. So these are for the chili chicken curry. So we're just going to get them chopped up, maybe a little bit smaller with some of them. And these will shrink a little in the pan. When it comes to the final cooking process, they'll be bite size. Any of this little fat we can trim off. I did get some new knives for Christmas. I've chosen not to use them yet because they're just a little bit too sharp, and I know a sharp knife is the safest knife. What I don't want to do is chop my hands with this cold food. So for around 2 portions, 2 people, you would be looking at around 7 to 8 fillets chopped up similar to this, but I'm doubling my quantity up because obviously I like to freeze everything. So that's going to be marinated now, and I'm going to go through the process of what spices we're going to use. Right, so I've got my spices ready. I've got garlic, I've got turmeric, I've got ginger, I've got chili powder. Don't forget all the measurements are in the ingredients listed below, and I'm going to sprinkle all that in there. And this is going to, just like a meat rub, embed itself into the chicken. And I'm also going to use 3 spoonfuls of flour, and this is solely to stop it sticking to my crock pot, my cast iron crock pot. So all I'm going to do now is get my hands mucky. We'll use this hand, and we're going to mix all this together. And once it's fully mixed, it's going to go into the refrigerator, and then I'm going to make my garlic and chili paste. So as you can see there, that's all them spices in with the flour, nice and dry now, so it's not going to stick as you're cooking it. And that's going to marinate in the refrigerator now for probably around 40 minutes whilst I make my paste, my garlic and ginger paste. And all this is going to soak in just like a meat rub would into the meat itself, and all that flavoursome flavour will stay there through the cooking process. So we're going to make the garlic and ginger paste now. This is used in all the Asian restaurants, Indian restaurants, where instead of having to just have the garlic and the ginger separately, what they do is add it all together. So what I have is probably just under a cup of ginger, the same with garlic. I've got the stems from my coriander, which I'm going to put in there. It's all been washed and the leaves have been taken off because they're going to be added to garnish when we serve this dish up. Then my coriander, then the ginger, and there's a lot of garlic in there, but you can control how garlicky you want that to be. So we're then going to add 1 cup of oil, whichever oil you use, vegetable preferably, and we're going to add the same amount in water. So there's 1 cup of water as well. This is going to be the base to the actual paste. And depending on how spicy you like everything, I'm also going to add up to 4 chilies. So let's see what I've got left after these. So there's 3, and 1 more leaves me enough for my curry, which I'm going to add to the chicken and chili garlic curry. Let's get rid of that. Right, I found my lid. Here he goes. Hope you can see that. So what we're also going to add to this now is a green bell pepper. That's how you seed a green red pepper or green red pepper. Let's just get that chopped up and in there. Don't worry about the pips, it'll pulverise them. The seeds, I'm going to get that back on there. So what I'm going to do with this is add it to one of my dough egg jars, a coffee jar. Once they're finished with, sterilise them. They're perfect for making things from pickles to chutneys, or even putting tea lights in and having them very decorative. So I'll transfer that to that off camera. Like I say, you can make these into ice cubes, put them in an ice cube tray, and then every time you need that spoonful, it's already there, already chopped and frozen, ready to drop into your curry. So I'm now going to make the gravy, which is the curry sauce, which is a base for the gravy, or should I say the curry we're making. If you want to see how this is done, I've got another video and the link should be up there to show you how it's done. I'll clip it down with all the ingredients so you're not spending too much time. Like I say, once again, if you want to double the quantity up in how much sauce gravy you make, then double all the ingredients added. So now we're going back to our chicken, which has previously been marinated. This has probably been marinated for over an hour now. I'm bringing a cupful of vegetable oil up to temperature. I want it nice and hot. I'm on 9, but I will turn it down. And what I'm going to do now is seal this chicken we previously marinated. Now there may be too much for this pan, but I can always do it in stages. Then once all this is cooked off, we can then start cooking the veg and the spices and then re-add this to the pan. So it looks like I'm going to do it in stages by the looks of it. So as you can see, we're sealing the meat. All them spices which we've marinated this meat in are now being sealed. The final process of the cooking will be once the curry is on its way, when all the ingredient is being added. But we're going to use this oil for the onions next, and that way we keep all that flavour within the pan and the meal itself. Right, so all our meat's cooked off, as you can see. This oil is now infused in the Asian taste. So what we're going to do now is start with our onions. I've turned the heat down because it's going to be very hot. Like I said, the description and quantity of everything is in the video description. And we're now going to start to soften these onions up, ensuring that all them spices are now soaked into the onion. As you can see, they're turning yellow with colour. Going to reduce them down. Right, I've allowed these onions to sweat a little. And the reason being is we need to take the rawness out of them. We don't want to taste the curry and only taste onions. So I'm now going to add 3 small bay leaves. We can pick them out as and when we serve the meal. I'm also going to add 4 bird's eye chilies. Can you see them? Yeah. Get them in there now, and then the heat starts to reduce, because I know my partner Vicky doesn't like a red hot flavour. I'm also going to add some cinnamon. Now there's 2 versions of this. There's your cinnamon stick, as you can see there. And there's also a sweet cinnamon as well, which is ground. Now this tastes, I think, a lot better than the actual, that version, and you remove that from your cooking. So I suggest you give that a try, guys. Really nice. There it is. And there's nothing to pick out of the meal once you start serving it. What I'm also going to do is add 4 chopped garlic cloves. There's enough garlic in here with regards to flavour. It just adds to it. Let's just get the rest of that cinnamon. So we reduce it to a medium heat now. So we're now going to add our spices. So we have turmeric. Don't forget to follow the measurements. We have our garam masala, and then we have, in my case, a mild or medium curry powder, and we stir all that in. And again, them flavours just lift into the air. They do really nice. So what I'm going to do now is add my tomato puree. Now this isn't the thick tomato puree you would see straight out of the tin, or the pizza base style tomato puree. This is a reduced down, or should I say watered down version of it. So it's a little bit more runny for people who don't like to add tomatoes themselves because of the texture, then this is a great alternative as well. And this just thickens everything up, as you can see. And we're still on a low heat. So what we're going to do now is add the meat. We know the tomato puree has allowed this to thicken up, and it also brings out all the flavours within the curry. So we're going to add the meat now. We're not adding the gravy or the curry sauce, we're just adding the meat. This chicken looks absolutely gorgeous, it does. Can't wait to taste it in the curry. Let's just give that a stir first. And we're going to cover it up, and that'll allow all the flavours to release, all the spices to amalgamate within each other. Right, we're almost getting there, guys. As you can see, the bottom of the pan, and if you can see the bottom of the pan, that means it's reducing and everything is now starting to cling to the meats. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to add this gravy which we've made up. So as you can see, just like an Indian restaurant style meal, everything is all stuck to the meat. There you go, 4 ladles in this one. You will probably do 2 if you're making it for 2. Right, as you can see, guys, this is all ready to serve. All I need to do is garnish it. Now, although there's only 1 pan full of food here, you have to remember that the base gravy is around 2 to 3 litres of gravy you can use for this cooking every time. All you need to do is tub it up, freeze it, or if you have your zippy tie freezer bags, even better. Lay it flat and then get it in the freezer when it's ready to freeze. So here we have a chili garlic chicken, fresh chilies, spiced chicken as you saw made, served with coriander, and I'm going to do it with poppadoms and naan breads.